question. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Agile Boulder Meetup. I want to say hi to everybody before I just start with an icebreaker. We'll get started here around, I don't know, 6:10, 6:15. Icebreakers. So, what career did you almost, or did you consider, or did you almost do instead of what you're doing right now? And maybe it's the same. Who knows? But maybe you were going to be an astronaut and you decided to not do that.
Can we go the other way? I could say where I started and how I ended up as an engineer.
You could do that too.
Because when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a scientist, but I was a girl, so they said no. And I went to an all-girl Catholic school. But I ended up, my first degree is in speech pathology, and I was a speech therapist for like 6 years. And then I came to Colorado, and I was going to get my master's in speech path. But that little engineering thing, I had gone out with a couple of engineers, and my boyfriend, now husband, got here, is an engineer. So all of a sudden, I'm like, I think I'm just going to flip and go for it. So, and then I spent 5 years getting two engineering degrees. So,
oh my God.
So I when I was a little kid, I kept saying, I'm going to be some kind of a scientist.
Ooh.
So.
What are the 2 degrees?
Electrical and computer engineering.
Okay. Electrical and computer engineering. Nice. But you could have been a speech pathologist.
I did that for 6 years and I was done.
So you actually kind of did it. You switched careers.
I switched. When I went back to get my master's, that's when I switched careers.
All right. Who else? Katie?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking, like, what is it what you want to do when you grow up when you're a kid?
Well, yeah, that too. What did you want to be?
A marine biologist or paleontologist, or just the typical stuff that everybody wants to be when they're a kid, right?
Oh, that's so
I don't know where you grew up, but
Well, my school didn't teach science, so that was kind of thrown out the window. But anyways, I don't know. I wondered. I did GIS for quite a few years, which I really liked a lot, and I almost moved over to finance, but I compromised somewhere in the middle with fintech. So
nice,
cool.
Who else do we have? Nazi, how about you? What were you? Were you always gonna be in IT and no?
No, my dad was a doctor, so I wanted to be a doctor. So I had my own white, jacket, and I would pretend that I'm doctor all the time. And when I came to the US, because I would go to his, where he was teaching at the university, and I would pretend looking through microscope and inventing the stuff. So anyhow, when I came to the US, I found out that I cannot, I cannot go to medical school if I don't have if I'm not a US citizen or I don't have residency. So I didn't know what's going to happen. This was after revolution. So Iran revolution, I mean. So then I looked for changing my job and I went to computer science. But after a while, when I looked at, when I went to hospitals or something, I saw people like, with different condition, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe God didn't want me to be a doctor. So I'm happy that I'm not doctor. I'm like, how would I have treated them? Because there's a condition, I don't know if it's in the US, but in lots of countries, if you do the biopsy during your school years, if you pass out 3 times, they kick you out. You cannot be a doctor anymore. Like back home, like my dad would tell me like there was big guys like 6'2", but they passed off 3 times, when they saw a dead body, and so I was happy that I changed, and first I was pissed, but I was happy afterwards. I changed the computer side.
I went through a phase where I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and I used to go to med school sessions and things like that. And then I shadowed doctors, and I realized they have to spend a lot of time doing paperwork, and they don't actually get to spend a lot of time helping people. And it was like, all right, cool. I don't want to be a doctor.
Forget that. Never mind. Oh, wow. That's a good story. Who else?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I was going to be an economist.
Oh.
And then I think I just like teams too much. And when I, started out in direct marketing and advertising and then wormed my way over to IT as a systems analyst and then product development and eventually management consulting. But,
Wow.
being an economist was going to be way too much time by myself, I think.
Oh, okay. You're a people person.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow, I was just the opposite.
Ooh.
My first career was as a pilot after I got out of the Air Force, and
Wow.
I flew charter, air ambulance, dead bodies, dead chickens, illegal aliens. Had my own flight school for a while, and then I couldn't find work as a pilot in the 80s, and so I got a degree in computer science. I got along well with computers, and they were okay. And after 35 years in IT, I really dislike computers. They are the hula hoops of the new millennium. I just don't think they're here to stay. So.
Wow, that's a super interesting perspective. That would be fun to talk about more. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that you cannot find work as a pilot. But
well, back in the 80s, you had to be like a Navy pilot or Air Force pilot, and it was just a click. You couldn't get in, with civil ratings. So I flew everything I could. I flew. Are you familiar with Taco John's, the little taco place? Okay. John Turner, I was his pilot for a while, and that was interesting. So it was just fun. I miss it every day still. So.
Oh, wow, that's really cool that you got to do that, though. It's awesome.
But now I'm in computers.
Do you ever fly now, like other planes?
Oh yeah, I had to surrender my flight physical a couple of years ago. So no, I am not flying anymore. So after just short of 20,000 hours of flight time, I'm turned in my wings. So
okay,
nice.
So, and I get to use computers now.
Yay! Don't we all?
Yay!
Yay! Oh, okay. Who else? Who else wants to share what their would-be career is?
Well, I'll go. I think I actually haven't been to an Agile Boulder since the before time when they were in real life.
Yeah.
And years ago then. So this is my first time back in when I don't have to drive anywhere, which is nice because I'm north of Fort Collins, and it's snowing right now, and I would not be going to a meeting tonight under any circumstances.
Oh, yay! I'm glad.
So I'm glad to be here. Let's see. So I actually trained got multiple degrees in history because there was a brief window of opportunity that turned out to be closed before it ever opened back in the late 80s, early 90s for academic historians, right? Liberal artists in general to get into academia. And I was really, really good at it. And so I have a PhD in history, which I used to keep my brain working. And that's about it. So I'm really glad I did that. But I had done software development before that, software development, technical writing, all kinds of computer techo stuff. That hula hoop is still spinning. And it's been 35 years for me. So that's a pretty long-lived hula hoop.
Wow.
But I got so that didn't work out. So I went back into primarily software development.
Okay.
Did a few other kind of related things along the way, but mostly coding. And then got got hooked up with Scrum, started doing some Scrum, and after a lot of years of that, so it's been a dozen years ago now, a little more than that, I decided I didn't want to get any older as a programmer, and took on, had an opportunity to become, I guess, come out of my chrysalis and become an Agile coach, and then decided that Scrum was actually the Agile framework that I was most enamored of and liked the most and found the most effective, both in, as a team member and helping other people learn it. So I've continued on that track ever since.
Nice. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to like Scrum. I'm a little bit partial to Scrum myself. So,
yeah, I don't have any choice now. I'm a certified Scrum trainer, so.
Yeah, so you're stuck. Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's okay. I think that's what I want to do when I grow up.
Good. Well, don't grow up, but you don't want to grow
It's
up.
getting kind of late in the game for that, but yeah, I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Who else is Sherry's out there? Sherry, can you hear us?
I am. I'm out here. Sorry, I just have
That's
been
all right.
on calls all day. I'm kind of over it.
I get
Well, I
it.
got to put something warm and comfy on. Yeah, so it's like Marie. It's funny because I actually went to school for speech pathology and audiology.
Really?
And, yeah, back in New York, and I came out to Colorado and went to CU to take a couple of classes also for my master's, and just couldn't afford to go to school and live. And so unfortunately, you guys remember storage technology. So
Yeah.
been here long enough, but started working there, and the rest is history. Kind of just did business analyst work, project management work, got my PMP certification,
Wow.
and the progression, into the whole Scrum social, the scaled agile world. So I'm a Scrum master, and
Nice.
the last few years, and I think that's how it's going to be.
That's where you're gonna stay. Good for you.
See if the company stays that way. They're definitely teetering on almost going back to, waterfall. It's interesting, but
Oh, interesting.
it's but in IT, it's a strange dynamics right now.
Yeah, I get it. Cool. Good old storage tech.
A good old storage tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was a storage engineer at HP for a while, and so our boxes would go to storage tech.
Oh, nice.
Really? Yeah.
Small world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was actually, all things considered. I mean, it was a great company to work for.
Cool.
And a lot of good friends there at the time. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
That's cool. Thanks. Who else do we have? Chris Reeve. Ooh, is that like Christopher Reeve?
Spelled the same, yeah.
Wow, like blast back from the heavens.
Yeah, it's been a while. When I was in college, I'd get prank calls. During
Oh,
exam week, when people finished early, they'd be bored. And,
yeah.
I got to talk about college. I got a degree in forestry,
Wow.
but there were no jobs. So my roommate was in computer science, had no trouble getting a job. So I went back and took pretty much a minor in computer science, and have been doing that as it started off as a developer, and then got into management, and then got involved with Agile, and recently a company I worked for, which is also a storage company, NetApp. We're doing safe, so I got my product owner's certification.
Ooh, nice.
So that's where I'm at now, and actually looking for a job because they unfortunately had a major layoff kind of in the solid fire product area.
Was it COVID layoff?
Well, they didn't state it that way, but they were going to put their resources into other companies they bought and away from the solid fire product line, which is based out of Boulder.
Yeah. Okay.
So they didn't say it was COVID, but it was a money saving decision to put resources in other areas.
Yeah.
I have a friend that also was laid off in that. So sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, I think same. I think a guy that worked at Raleigh was over there as well. So Yeah. Well, we'll find you something else.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it turns out there's a lot of people that have worked at a lot of different companies. Just when you're talking storage tech, I worked with a lot of people who had worked for storage tech.
Are you currently looking, Chris?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. What position are you looking for?
A product owner position, potentially a scrum master. I've done some scrum master, but I'm a little more interested in the product owner, kind of between the business and the developers. Preferably safe, but doesn't have to be that way. And probably more of a software product, supporting cloud, something like that.
Okay. IHS Markit is hiring for that position and a lot of other positions. If it's in Boulder.
What's the company name again?
IHS Markit.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. All right, who else? Nawaz, is that right? Am I saying that right? Nawaz?
Nawaz is our speaker for April for Agile Boulder.
Yeah, I'm like, I recognize that name.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hi there.
Hi. What were you going to be when you grew up?
I'm still growing. I don't know. If I was not a coach, agile coach, I probably would have been a military man.
Okay.
Yeah, because my roots are in Pakistan, and then I was in the reserves, and somehow I slid out of the service, and then I never went back. So So what I do now is I enjoy the most. So I think I'm happy where I am right now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, my pleasure.
All right, we got a small crew tonight, which we kind of expected a little bit. Our first time back on the scene after the holidays and such. So I'm Nancy Fela. If you don't recognize me or know me, I work at Rally, and I've been running the Agile Boulder Meetup for, I don't know, a couple of years now. And with COVID and everything, and meeting fatigue and Zoom fatigue, we took quite a break over the holidays, and I wanted to reset, and I also wanted to experiment a little bit. So this might be why it's a small group, and I'm okay with that. But we don't have a lot of speakers lined up yet this year, and I wanted to experiment with doing some different things for Agile Boulder this year. Things like, lightning talks, Pecha Kucha presentations, maybe some lean coffee like what we're doing tonight, retrospectives, and maybe even giving other folks a chance to facilitate a meetup. That's crossed my mind as well. If you've always wanted to host a meetup and you don't have one of your own, or you wonder what it's like, maybe you can facilitate this one. So that's an option too. So just experimenting with different formats. We do have some speakers lined up. I'm hoping to get a few of my cohorts who have not yet spoken. They want to do a presentation, and they're putting one together, and they don't have a lot of public speaking practice, and so I just wanted to make this a safe place for folks to to play with that, and to give folks a chance to do that when they might otherwise not have a chance. So that's kind of the format for this, and it may work and it may not, and we'll just see. So let's see, I'm going to share my screen so I can go through my slides so I don't forget anything. Okay, so Agile Boulder Meetup, February 24th. We did intros, we did an icebreaker, and I'm assuming that, yep.
You want to put it in the presentation mode?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Let me present with notes actually. Thank you for that. How's that? Does that look better?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, so let me go to my, the introductions. Again, Nancy Fela, Katie, and Marie Struckman is with us. If we were talking before you joined, she is running the Agile Denver North meetup. And
Yep, Nancy.
are you there? Say hi to everybody, Marie.
Hi, am I on mute? I said, you said I was running Agile Denver North, and I said yes, but with Nancy.
Yeah, with me. But she's the star. So yeah, the three of us, we like to hang out and do these things. We make a good team. So I appreciate the help from these ladies on this meetup. We did an icebreaker, and then real quickly, I wanted to ask if anybody needs a tutorial with Zoom. I'm assuming not. But if you do want to go over Zoom, then just holler. But I think by now, I would guess everybody's ready to go with Zoom. Okay. So our agenda, we usually start around 6 o'clock. We do a welcome around 6:15. We had an icebreaker that went over a few minutes, and then we start with announcements, which I'm doing now, and then we'll close up by 7:30. This one, maybe, usually the presentation, if we have a speaker, goes from 6:30 to 7:30, somewhere in that range. And with meeting fatigue, we don't like to be any longer than 7:30, although it does happen sometimes. But tonight, I'm guessing will actually be probably shorter than that. So, and that's perfectly fine. Let me see. Okay, we have some announcements. Appreciations. I like to start with those, right? So Agile Denver, actually, for the Zoom account that makes this possible while we're not able to meet in person, they have a corporate account that we're able to use. And they also house the recordings for these meetups on YouTube. So you just do a search for, I think that's right, Marie, right? You just do a search for Agile Denver, and you'll see the past meetups.
You can search on YouTube, or you can go to agiledenver.org, and it's in the I think it's SIGs, but they'll you can access YouTube from there as well.
Okay, cool. And then let me see what else was I going to say about that. Oh, we are recording actually, and I should have mentioned this earlier. So if for some reason you don't want to be on the recording, just turn your camera off or change your name or whatever you need to do if you don't want to be on the recording. Tech Systems, one of the recruiters, local recruiters, they normally provide the food that we would be eating if we were in person. So thanks to them. Hopefully that will resume sometime this year. And then IHS Market, it provides the location. That's where Katie works, and that we go to their beautiful office.
And adult beverages.
And adult beverages. Yes, thank you. And then Scrum Alliance supports the meetups. They have a great community. That's where the Agile Denver North meetups usually are, is in the new Scrum Alliance office, and that's a really nice office as well. Also, you can log your SEUs for this meetup, for any meetup, on your dashboard through Scrum Alliance website. Let me see. Okay, so as I said, I don't have, if you look at the Agile Boulder meetup site, there are not a lot of, we have dates out there. We have the dates scheduled, but we don't have a lot of speakers yet. So fortunately, we do have a wonderful speaker for next month who has volunteered. Nazi is here with us tonight, and she's going to be speaking in March. And I do have a few other leads that I will be posting. Usually at the end of the year, I like to do a retrospective. So there's a few months in there that we can play with. And if you know of anybody who would like to speak, if you would like to speak, please let me know and we'll get a slot for you on Agile Boulder. And let's see, the Agile Denver North session, the next one is March 11th. Is that right?
Yep.
It's the first Thursday. Agile Denver North is the first Thursday of every month. Second.
It's the second one, right?
I think it's the second. Second Thursday of every month. Agile Boulder is the third. Yeah, fourth Wednesday of every month. So they're all running together. Let me see. Okay. So we're going to do a lean coffee tonight. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because what I'd like to do, frankly, is hear from you guys. And again, I know it's a small audience, so we might not get a lot, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to hear from the audience and from the community members what you want to do with this meetup. This is your meetup. And I'm just, happy to be able to host it. So, what are the things that you would like to talk about? What are topics that are on your mind? What's the latest stuff going on out there that's confusing you? What are just things that we want to converse about? And we may have action items out of this. We may say, oh yeah, let's get a speaker who can talk about that or who can address that, and we'll line that up. Or it may just be a discussion tonight about what's on your mind. So we have a board. Katie, you can pull up your board. Oh, and Jan. Oh, hey, good. Thanks, Jan. I'll get in touch with you.
I'll unmute, so I'll say, yes, please do.
Yes.
That's talking
that's
to
perfect.
myself.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I will get in touch with you before we end tonight. Yeah, Katie, you can share your ideas board. Does everybody know how to, has everybody done a lean coffee? We know the rules? We can go over them here real quickly. So lean coffee is just, it's a simple board, things that we want to discuss. And then it's like a Kanban board, essentially. This one doesn't really look like a Kanban board, but it is. We'll use it that way. So we'll put items in the to discuss column, and then we'll do some voting on what you'd like to talk about. So democracy, right? And then as we discuss each one, we'll move it over to the discussing column, and we'll have a time limit. I will set a timer. We'll have a time limit, and at the end of that time, we use a Roman vote. Thumbs up, you want to keep talking about it. Sideways thumb means you really doesn't matter one way or the other. And a thumbs down means I'm done talking about this, let's move on. And then as soon as we're done with that topic, we move it to the discussed section and move on to the next topic. And like I said, we have a section for action items just in case we might take some actions away from this. So
it's super. I was just going to say it's super easy to add, items here. You just hit the plus, and if you want to vote to talk about something, you can upvote it.
Miss Katie is in charge of the board.
No, it's our board.
Yes.
I can set up a egg timer if you want. We didn't talk about that, but I can do that on the side here.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I think probably you'll have to put the link in the chat again, just in case somebody. There's Jill. She just joined us. Hi, Jill. Go ahead and post the link in the chat again, Katie, and everybody can get it. Yep.
There you go.
Nice. So if you would just go ahead and we'll take, I don't know, let's do let's start with 5 minutes. And if we need more time, we'll add to that, and just plop down your ideas on the to discuss section of the board. And I think do you want to take them through the board, Katie? You just create a sticky, you just double click, I think, to create a sticky. Or no, you hit the plus sign. Right. You hit the plus sign in order to create a sticky, and then you just start typing. Yep, just like that. So again, just anything that you want to talk about, anything that's interesting to you, something that you'd like to see this group take on. And just, what the ask is just to think outside the box. Don't think of your typical meetup. Don't constrain yourself to the typical meetup format. It could even be things like, volunteering as a group when we're all back together after this thing is done, and how could we give back to the community, and just think outside the box. Tell us what you'd like to see. Are you running the timer, Katie? Yeah, thank you. You're a rock star.
I am not a rock star. Let me unshare my screen and reshare it, because I realize I'm just sharing one of my browsers, and so you can't see what I'm seeing. So there you go. Now you're gonna see it, and I can restart the timer if you like.
Oh, that's fair. No, that's fine. We'll just set it for another couple minutes. That's fine. That's cool, little egg timer. I like it. We got some, once that runs out, let's go ahead and just set it for another 5, because we got some people joining us, it sounds like. The only other thing is I wish that we could play some music, but it doesn't work very well on Zoom. I've tried a number of different ways.
You'll just have to sing to us, Nancy.
I'll just sing. I don't think anybody wants that.
Look at the time. I have to go now.
Right, exactly.
I remember the last meetup we did in person, I started singing closing time to get people to leave. And it's pretty effective, because I'm not a great singer. They want to leave.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Funny.
I don't know if you remember that, Nancy. I think you were singing with me.
I do remember. Well, when we have microphones in our hands, watch out, because it gets exciting.
This is exciting. The board is filling up.
I know. I love this. Now, what if we run out of room between the two discussed and discussed? Is there like it just does it automatically? I love that. Very
Computers.
nice. I know, right? Software. Hang on, folks.
That's interesting.
What you think, Marie?
Well, I'm also I'm on a bunch of stuff. I'm on the Mile High Agile, that conference. I'm an organizer, and we're not going to have it this year, but we did talk about, what else can we do? Maybe something quarterly, and that's free. And one of them was talking about, I just saw a card here, like a speaking workshop, and how to do the speaking, and then again, like addressing the basic guidelines on how to submit proposals and prepare, et cetera. So I saw that and I was like, oh, I think I have another meeting next week to talk about stuff like that. And it's funny that it popped up here.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was a great idea. Like we're trying to like come up with ideas.
Yeah.
Something that we could provide, like a workshops basically.
Yeah.
Should we keep going, or?
How does everybody feel? You have some more ideas? Let's see a thumbs up or a down if you want more time. Anyone?
So is it thumbs down if you don't want more time?
The thumbs down. No, thumbs down. You're done.
Okay.
Okay.
Behind the camera.
I like it.
I'm done.
Or you can put it in the chat. I'm done.
Oh, that would work.
How about that? Yeah.
Or you can do a reaction, maybe, like no, like the red.
Yeah, or do we actually have a thumbs up for reactions.
Yeah, and then you have like X, red X, like no, you know.
Yeah, you could just put it in the chat. I think we're probably good.
Yeah, because I think we have like 17 sticky notes.
We have quite a bit, right? For a small group, it's
And
kudos.
each one takes like 2-3 minutes. That's lots of them.
Yep, kudos.
So did we want to vote, and how many votes do we get each?
You each get just, and all lean coffees are different, but you, for this one, you each get 2 votes.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I'm following tonight, so.
And be careful, because you can't unlike something after you like it, I don't think.
You cannot unvote.
Wow. Okay.
Yep, so go ahead.
What did I
vote?
Okay. Yeah, I did.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm looking for your, William, you didn't put one on the board, I don't think, so I could do that for you. I'm not going to personally vote, so.
Oh, you mean I could have gotten away with not voting?
You could vote. You don't have to. Facilitator doesn't get to vote, but you can vote. No, let me see. Okay. And there was one I'm going to put on here as a late entry, and that's okay. Agile certifications. We can maybe just get to that.
So maybe we'll do just maybe like 2 more minutes for voting, or 1 more minute?
Yep. 1 more minute. Let's do 1 more minute. Small crowd.
So I didn't want to, I mean, I was just trying to see, like you said 2, then does it limit to like Miro or Morale? But I was able to click more than once. More than
twice. Honesty, an
Yeah.
honesty vote.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And then we can do it. Am I right?
It's fine.
Yeah, you can keep voting forever. Like, so I voted on this card, and I can literally vote on it 5 more times. I can go. Yeah, it's okay. It's no big deal.
It's fine. Like I said, we're free form tonight. It's a small crowd, so no, it's not a problem. But yes, and the other tools like Miro and some of the other tools, they limit the votes that you can have. Yeah.
Yeah, Idea Boards isn't maybe the most lovely UI, but it doesn't require a login. So we tried to go with something that was a little bit easier and streamlined and didn't require a login.
Yep. And time. Very nice. Okay, what do we have? We have a clear winner, it looks like. Ooh. Learn how to tell a story instead of presentation.
So, but I am guilty of, because first of all, I wrote that and I clicked on it multiple times.
Oh,
oops. Okay. So maybe we'll just consider that as a 1.
I think I clicked on it twice. Yeah, or yeah, there
well, then it would still be winning.
But yeah, other people might have clicked on it too. So that's where did it go? Did we do? Oh, yeah. Let's just go ahead with it. So
how many minutes you want? 5?
Let's have Nazi just give a little color around that. You know what you mean. Kind of cliff notes around that sticky, and then when she's done, let's give everybody let's give 5 minutes to talk about it. So go ahead and tell us what you mean by this card, Nazi.
Yeah. Okay. So I attended a workshop that teaches like, like at work for Agile or any other presentations, you can do a story. So like when I did the presentation at Women in Agile, Agile Alliance in 2019, and instead of showing, I had PowerPoints, but literally my PowerPoint had one image on it, but I gave a story of the whole thing. So instead of saying, for instance, just to give you guys example, yeah, for you to understand how your team is anxious or frustrated and all of this, giving them all the bullet points, I gave a real story of literally what happened with my team. And I took the audience through that points, and I had an arch, like the point of like, the highlights of the whole thing. But when you do storytelling, you help people to be part of that story and see what happened, and tell them like, okay, Nancy mentioned this, as we were doing games, blah blah blah. So you are taking, so they can imagine it, and they can feel like they are in there as you are doing the stuff. So
okay,
impact of that is much more.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, do you let's set the timer for 5, and what discussion do we have around that idea? That's I think that's really interesting. One question I would have is like, what kind of images are they? Like, if you just had an image on a slide, what would they just be teams, or what would they be?
Yeah, I give you example. So this was regarding, I was talking about like how my team had anxiety and stuff. So I did mock programming. So I had the image of the team from the back, so you couldn't see who's who, and I changed the name of the people. So if they are there or whatever, they wouldn't know who I'm talking about. But I had one image of them, and I had like 2-3 small bullet points as a reminder for myself. So if I am like really, really expert, I don't even need to have those bullet points, and I can just talk about it. That was one point. And the other one was that like I created a circle, like a feedback circle, and saying that, what happens in there. That was my whole image. Just having a presentation of that. And if you are interested, you can see the present. I mean, it is accessible through Agile Alliance, and you can see it, if you put my name. So you are, and I got interested because I heard other people doing it, because they are saying it, the story, and I make my own conclusion, as I listen to that story, and instead of the person telling me, do this, do that, do that. They told me the story, what happened, what was the problem, how they resolved it. And I got my own impression of, oh, I can do that also.
Oh,
basically.
Very cool. Other comments and questions about that particular topic? More discussion on that one? Anything else to share? That's a pretty cool idea, I think.
Yeah, I realized I was on mute, and I said a lot of profound things, but now all that's going to come out of my mouth is, it's a great idea. I think it's a really cool skill to have, because if you have just if you're standing up in front of a team, or you're presenting, if you can engage people, and I think that's priceless. That's a cool idea. And I'm sure there's a speaker out there that could engage all of us and share their wisdom.
Yeah, and I would think too that it would be, would prevent the speaker from, so many speakers have the problem of reading bullet points, right? Mm-hmm. Just reading the slide and all the words, and so that's a good way to break that habit.
I think telling a story also brings some personalization to it and helps people get to know the presenter, which provides credibility and things like that, that connection and credibility.
Absolutely.
I also think, like, let's say, because I'm guessing we are all in Agile in some way, product owner or any other positions. We can tell the story of the success or failures we had to our team as a lessons learned without telling them that we want you to learn from this. Just because we are telling them a story, they are just listening to the story. That's something we experienced. And we are, giving audience with fake names, but we are giving audience. So that's very good also for, for helping people to understand what
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I love that.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Nancy. I know this is lightning.
Mhm.
Not lightning. I had lightning talks on my head. I'm kind of curious, like, should we say to people, like, are you interested? If this interests you, like, do a poll. How many would say that they would go to this? Because there's 10 of us.
Yeah. Like how many people would do that? Like do tell a story for a presentation?
No, how many people? So if there was a meetup, how many people would want to attend? Honestly, you're on Zoom all day, you're working a little hard. Is this a meetup that you want to go to? That's what I'd be curious about. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to go through that with the top cards just to see if the majority feels that way.
Yep, that's a really good.
A meetup where you learn how to tell a story, or just attend a meetup where somebody tells a story? Which one?
I thought it was learn.
Yeah.
Yep, where you learn how to do that, right?
So like a workshop that you learn some bullet points, like how to do it, some examples. Yeah.
Okay. So I can put it down here as an action item, and we could vote on it as an action item. Do we want to wait until we get a bunch of action items and then see, or do we just want to vote on each one separately?
I would just go ahead and put them in the action items, and then we can review them before we're done. Yeah, I would just go ahead and capture them all. That's fantastic.
So one thing recently, my sister led poetry workshops.
Oh.
And part of what they would do is bring up topics at one evening, and then people would think about it and come back the following week to share. So when it comes to storytelling, and I just asked the question could we do more than one topic in an evening? In other words, could we cover the basics of storytelling and then have people bring their stories back? Maybe a couple brave souls do something that day, but then have another agenda item that's totally different from storytelling, and then do another round of people. So kind of continuous learning in a way.
Yeah, almost like a class, a little bit like attending a class. You do the first part, and then next week you come back and do this. Like you have your homework kind of thing. I mean, yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe make a note on there, Katie, to like an action item for, how would we say that? Like continuous sessions or something, almost, with continuous meetup sessions where we would we would continue on from the last meetup that we had. That would be
almost like a series, a 2-part series or a 3-part series on storytelling.
Yeah, perfectly said.
That's a very good point, Cynthia, because storytelling is not like something that in one workshop you can completely do it, and it's good to have like one workshop. You can have some practice and things that people can do and do work on it, and then in the next meetup just do the session 2, and also have live feedback to people that they did that. That's a fantastic point.
That's great. Thanks for that.
I feel like years ago, I went to a Toastmaster training program, and there was something on storytelling.
Oh, wow.
So that might be a resource to get a speaker to come in.
Yeah, maybe a Toastmaster person or somebody who's familiar with that.
Try to see if I can remember, if I can find the speaker.
I know there are some local clubs around or whatever. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I also know a few people that I can reach out. I mean, and they are the one that I went to her workshop, but I can reach out to see if they would come and talk. I mean, I paid for the workshop, but I can check if they can come and speak for free in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a little move here. And I know I totally blew past the time box. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Are you seeing my screen, Nancy? Because I've been
I see
adding
it.
them. Oh,
Okay,
okay. You were like, I'll add a note, and I'm like, but I've already. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I just want to make sure you could see it.
I think it was delayed. So, and I'm like, oh, poor Katie has to type all these things. So yes, great stuff. 3 action items already. Not that we're gonna do all those, but we'll keep this forward, right? Keep this
May I
forward.
move this one to discussed?
You may.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, and so you guys can go in and vote at any point on the action items, and that will kind of give us, we can see over time what gets a lot of votes. So I think the next one is Scrum Safe Industry Events and which are worth attending and why.
Okay. Where is that one? We have.
I moved it to discussing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's okay.
Scrum and Safe industry events and which are worth attending and why. Oh yes. Okay.
I think we have a clear bias.
Who does anybody? First off, do we need any more color around this card? If not, we can just go straight to discussion.
Well, I think I put it in there, and one of the things I was thinking of is somebody a lot of you guys know, Steve Spearman. He travels the world as a coach, and so he's gone to some of the Scrum World events. He's gone to coaching things in Seattle over the years, so I was thinking, somebody who's really familiar with the global events as well as the national and local events.
Okay.
And maybe the Scrum Alliance locally has, they've had some changes over the last several years. So I don't know if they want to pitch, if they want to join us and say what they have planned for events for the coming, couple of years, or where, what they're thinking about coming out of COVID.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I know that they don't necessarily talk about any of the scaled frameworks. I don't know. Yeah, that's a very good question. We would have to chat with some of the folks at Scaled or Scrum Alliance and see. Yeah, but what other thoughts? I'm talking a lot. Sorry, I get excited.
We lost Marie.
We did. Sorry, folks.
Oh, okay.
She had to drop. She had something come up and she had to drop. So yeah, thoughts and discussion around this card. I'm curious how you all decide. How do you decide which ones are worth attending and why? I have trouble with that personally. Anyone have something they want to share?
Well, I'll kick in since I haven't said anything yet. I have to go to one a year because they won't let you renew as a certified Scrum trainer unless you go to one a year. So that motivates me pretty strongly to go to a Scrum Alliance conference. But what I've also found is the quality of the presentations is exceedingly uneven. Everything from absolutely hideous to completely spectacular. But you can't.
Yeah.
That's not on them. That's on the presenters. But what I really find most valuable is the people I meet there.
Yeah.
The global Scrum gatherings, those are the ones I'm really talking about, mostly the US ones, and it's all off this year. The only one that's currently tentatively scheduled is Lisbon in the middle of November. That's wishful thinking, May. Just watching the way things are going, I don't see it that's going to happen.
Yeah, I would guess that that's probably going to be canceled.
So I think in-person big events like that this year they're not going to happen. I mean, it would take something close to a miracle to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree. Sadly,
Yeah.
Maybe,
I
I don't
think-
know. Can we just have somebody as part of these meetings, like share? We usually do that in announcements. Maybe we just have somebody do event updates or something as part of
There you go.
That's a good idea.
a separate topic or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like just maybe have just even in the first part, like you said, during announcements, we could have somebody from Scrum Alliance just talk about what's coming up and yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
That'd be a great idea. The Scrum Alliance so far, to my knowledge, the only thing that's happened in the last year is trainer and coach
Yeah,
conclaves. I call them conclaves. They're really not conclaves. You know,
right.
but that's a very select group of people that aren't open to everybody. So that's as far as I know, that's all Scrum Alliance has done since canceling the Scrum Gathering in New York City last year.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh,
Are these limited to just Scrum Alliance and SAFE, or do you just mean in general on these topics?
Well,
I guess my question was to Cynthia since she wrote it. Because I mean, a lot of people are, because we are doing things in the virtual world, they're offering a lot of things that are free now, which is kind of cool. I've noticed Atlassian has really upped a lot of their free stuff. They talk about things like Scrum and SAFE, although they aren't Scrum Alliance or SAFE, the organizations. So that's what I was asking is, would you, when you wrote this, did you envision it anything beyond Scrum Alliance and SAFE, or did you?
Just those organizations.
I think just Agile. We're an Agile meetup, so I think it should be kind of open. Like, if we think there's a quality event coming up online or whatever, because some of us have access to Udemy or other thing, it could be LinkedIn learning stuff. There's a whole, we could post resources, to your point. I wouldn't limit it. Kanban, we could get into lean.
Right. Yeah, that's, time. Do we want to keep talking? Or down? Okay. Okay. I just want to say one thing quick about it, and we can move on, but yeah, I'm almost wondering, it would be great if I know Agile Denver is a hub for a lot of those things, right? You can go to agiledenver.org website and there's a lot of things, but we don't really have like a central where all the things are. So that's getting my brain working. That's really kind of interesting.
Cool. May I move to discussed?
Yeah. Yes.
Next up is combining Scrum and Kanban. Scrumbon, as some might say.
Ooh, Scrumbon.
And then I thought there was one that was pretty similar. I don't know if that could be combined or if we want to consider that a separate topic.
We actually should have looked at grouping. I didn't think about that. Combining Scrum and Kanban.
I got you covered.
Okay. You do, Katie. You're on it. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Great. Any color that we need to provide on these two? They kind of speak for themselves. I'm guessing, is it a good idea? How does everybody feel about Scrum and Kanban and or Scrumbon, right? So go ahead and set the timer.
Great to have case studies or examples, real life examples.
Of using both or the combo, whichever, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Well, and we could actually probably do that tonight. Maybe, I don't know. That might be that would actually be a good meetup, I think. How does everybody else? What are your thoughts on? Anybody else? Your thoughts on this? Would a meetup topic around this be helpful? I think it'd be quite interesting. I don't know necessarily that it would be a speaker, but it would be more of a discussion maybe.
Yeah, and I threw I threw it as an action item. So anything we put down here, they may or may not happen depending on how many people vote, right? They're like possible action items. So you guys are driving what we're going to end up doing based on what you vote on. So if nobody votes for it, then we probably wouldn't consider it. But if everybody votes for it, then it's like, yeah, we should definitely do this.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I think that's a good topic. Because that's a real world thing, right? That's a real life application that's happening right now in where we work, right? Yeah, that's great. Any thoughts on or more just further discussion or questions or other ideas around this topic?
I think like the other person said, I forgot her name. It would be good that if there is a scenario and we can say like, okay, it doesn't have to be software, but it can be anything. Like as a group, we need to build a bridge or whatever. Mm-hmm. Something that we want to make cooking something, like we want to make a jelly bean sandwich or whatever, and have the user stories created like high level and show like, okay, this is one sprint, this, and our sprints can be 5 minutes a sprint, right? and go through that process like the other person was saying. Let's have a use case for it, and then be able to do the comparison and also combining them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was envisioning as well. Is we could have a topic around an evening around here's this scenario, and what would it look like if we applied the Scrum framework? What would it look like if we applied the Kanban framework? What would it and how would it turn out? I think that's a
So I put case studies regarding Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, other Agile frameworks, etc. Is there a better way I could capture this? Is there something I'm not capturing?
Let me see, case studies regarding Scrum, Kanban.
Should I make it bigger? Is the screen too small?
No, it's just it's my eyes.
Maybe, I mean.
And I'm looking at my computer. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. And you could maybe say, impossible application. Like you'd have the case study and then application of, possible application or something like that. And that might be a meetup topic. But yeah, to your point, Katie, we're going to vote on these so we can clarify when we get down to that.
Cool. I just want to make sure I captured it.
Yep.
Well.
You got it.
All right. We still have a minute, unless.
Still have a minute, yeah. Any other thoughts or questions or color or?
Maybe on that one we kind of lead off with like an overview of the different frameworks, just so and include especially the Scrum band on Combine, because some people might not be aware of what that actually is.
Very good point. Yeah, a little, almost like a mini education.
Yeah, and I could actually see that being 2 sessions, so I'll add it as a different sticky note, and then we can decide later if we want to combine or split.
Yeah, great.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah, great suggestion.
Good suggestion. Yep, good suggestion. Awesome. Okay, where'd our timer go? Are we done? Oh, 15. Nice. Excellent.
Sorry, I was trying to make the screen bigger so we could see it, but then it hides. Nope, I don't know.
That's good. Okay, let's just we're 3 seconds away. Let's do a thumbs up or sideways or down on to continue. Everybody's so honest tonight. I love that. I love that. It's just, I love the thumbs. I love the Roman build thing. Okay, moving on. What do we have? We have a tie, I think, for the next couple, don't we? So maybe just pull them.
I can I can take my vote out and just go to the next 2.
The next 2. Okay.
Customer input mechanisms for Agile teams, CX, UX, VOC, and which team members are involved.
Nice. That's a good one. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Okay, anybody or whoever wrote that want to provide any color? Do we need any more detail around that?
Oh, Nazi, I want what you're having for dinner. Sorry to put you on the spot. I asked my husband to heat up food. It hasn't appeared yet.
Sorry about that. I wanted to make myself like, like turn off my video so you guys don't see it. But anyway.
No, I love it. I'm enjoying vicariously through you.
So then I'm going to tell you something that this is a keto ice cream.
Oh.
So it doesn't have too much sugar. Let me go get the box so I can show it to you guys. As you
Okay. In the meantime, yeah, anything that we need to know about this card before we open it up for discussion?
Well, I wrote it. It's, it's a topic of ongoing interest for me, the intersection between CX and Agile.
Yep.
And just how customer input, and goes back to the manifesto, right? How does customer input get to the team? That's the high level. And probably the second thing that I put in, and which team members involved, that may narrow it more than I intended, because you guys could take it wherever you want, but the top of mind idea was intersections between customer experience and the actual development teams.
The actual development, yeah.
And just quickly, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, CX is customer experience, UX is user experience, and VOC is voice of customer. Is that where you're going? Cool.
Nicely done. Go ahead and start the timer, and let's tackle this one and see if we can come up with some thoughts and ideas and questions, whatever.
Oh, sorry. Before you go to the next one, I want to show you guys the ice cream. Do you see it?
Oh, we can't see it though.
Oh, you're serious?
Because of the background.
You got to turn off your background, or at least put it make it your face.
Yeah, hold on. Let me turn off my background 1 second. Choose virtual background. So sorry about that. Here.
Oh yeah, look at that, keto. Very cool.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would love actually to. I would love a session on this one. This topic is great because it's a bone of contention, right? In a lot of organizations, and getting things into the pipeline. I've often even thought sometimes about, we have folks who come in and speak about Scrum and Kanban and Agile leadership and all these things, but I don't know that we very often had a presentation around, like from a designer, and how, like, a presentation around design sprints and how ideas go from from customers to implementation, right? And that pipeline. I think that's I would be super interested in a session like that. We usually are just focused on, the teams and the organization and how they're, how the teams are working together and, all those good things as well. But this is further up the chain, which is interesting. What other thoughts? Who else has questions and thoughts around that?
Well, I guess we could take it more broadly to just talk about customer experience if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with somebody at Seton Hall in their customer experience program today about a couple things, and they have 8 different modules involved with customer experience.
Wow.
So and it's a program that's being replicated that started at Rutgers. And it like one of the first ones is customer experience. Accelerate and improve decisions with data is one. Customer focused innovation, then there's like relationship building, navigating change.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Yeah. No,
I don't
that's,
know if that fits within our Agile Boulder thing, but
well, that was kind of right. That's my point is that, let's think outside the box and get, I mean, I'll give a little snippet of something that I've been experiencing lately. We have every quarter we do hackathons at Rally, and I spent my time sitting with the support team so that I could get a completely different view of what the customers are experiencing and the issues that they're having, and how our product is impacting, the customers. And it's building empathy and all those things when you're outside of your teams. So I love that topic.
Yeah, and
Anybody
I think
else?
there's a lot of worksheets and exercises and things that you could do as like a workshop. Is that kind of what you're envisioning as well?
I could see a workshop. I could see a speaker.
I like the workshop idea. I just wanted to put the topic out there and kind of
Yeah.
see if it resonated with everybody. And
Yeah.
And I'll leave it broad. I just put session, so that could be a presentation, it could be a workshop.
Yeah.
And we have 30 seconds left.
Ooh, we're getting good on our times. Although I feel like I'm talking too much. So everybody else is quiet. How's everybody doing out there? All right.
Yes, I think it segue nicely into design thinking and design sprints.
Mhm.
I don't have the benefit of a whiteboard in front of me, but I used to draw a Venn diagram with MVP, user-centered design, and agile development overlapped each other. So the one on the top talks about doing building the right product, and the one underneath is building the product right. So I mean, the teams usually get hang up on Scrum and Kanban and Safe,
Mhm.
which is the execution piece, or maybe more focused toward the execution. But I think when it comes to system thinking and getting the feedback from the customer right into the product is something I think where we find some disconnects, and this is a good topic to
Yeah.
bring
Yep.
up to.
Thank you for that. That's very articulated very well. Systems thinking, and that's great. Love
Is
that.
there an action item that I should capture there around systems thinking
I think
that would be different than what it's already captured?
I think what I would like to maybe capture is just, that could be a potential topic for a session, is to have somebody, maybe speak on, or have a discussion around whatever, have somebody speak though on that topic, on systems, design thinking and kind of customer centric design, and in understanding that piece of the pipeline, what comes before development.
Okay, so I think we kind of have it captured.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think that covers it.
All right. Yay, nay.
Yay. Everybody down? Okay. Looks like we're moving on. And what I will say is that it is 7:16. And we end at 7:30. So I would say maybe we could cover that other one that's got 2 votes.
We have 2 left with 2 votes.
2 left, okay. And then we'll finish up with the reviewing the action items, voting on those.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay.
Thanks for keeping us on schedule, Nancy.
You betcha. Interested in speaking in a conference. Provide basic guidelines on how to submit proposals and prepare. Yes, I know several people who have bumped into that one. So, yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Do you want to just, unless we want some more color around that, we can hit the timer and just talk about this one.
Got it.
I think that I could envision that being a meetup topic, and maybe even also like a working session.
I was thinking the same thing. Like we could break into little groups and you can get critiques on your presentation and your proposal and get help.
Yeah. Other thoughts?
So I wrote that, and I attended the session at Agile Alliance, and I was a reviewer for Agile Alliance, in 2019 and 2020. So there are some basic things that just that provides guidelines, like what if you even think about that you want to do something like that, what you need to do. So and I think that that would be there are stuff that like as a person, what are some action items you can do just to learn how it is, and other stuff like that.
Yeah, and for me personally, I mean that one scares me to death. It's not something I would ever do, I don't think. And it's so overwhelming imagining putting something together and then presenting it in front of a crowd. So if I had somebody to walk me through the steps, I can see that would be really helpful.
More attainable. It would feel more achievable. And it could be something where you're just exploring the idea of it. You don't have to necessarily go through with it. Maybe it's just a learning experience to see if that's something you would even be interested in doing. Not everybody wants to get up in front of people and talk. Right. And even if they, some people don't want to do it, but they still want that opportunity to learn and move in that direction eventually.
Absolutely. Yep. Sometimes you just you want to stick your toe in the water and that's it for a while.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I see this topic being an entire evening. So I'm thinking maybe it's part of an agenda for a meetup.
Yep. Or to your point earlier, it might even be a series thing again, where you touch on it a little bit. And you go through some steps, and then maybe you go noodle on it for a while, work on it for a while, and then bring it back the next time. And
yeah, I really like the continuous learning for this one as well, because we could give that briefly, and then the next couple of meetups could be people that are wanting to go to submit to the conference, and it can be more like a working session.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be more meaningful. I think it'd be more meaningful for people if it was actually conference session parameters for an actual conference, and let's put together a proposal and see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Based on a real conference and their session proposal guidelines, and how important it is to follow all the steps and not miss anything. I've been on both sides of that coin. I've given a lot of presentations and I've been turned down for quite a few. And I've also been a conference reviewer. I was involved in Mile High Agile.
Oh, right.
For the first two conferences, I was a reviewer for those two, and then I just couldn't drive to Denver anymore because I was on the road too much. But so I've been on both sides of the table on that one.
So you bring a lot of insight and a lot of experience to the topic. That's great. That'd be really cool to hear.
And how to deal with rejection might be a good part of it too, because guess what's going to happen when you put yourself out there? People are going to say no to your finely crafted presentation. They're just going to say no and no explanation. That's
a big part of it, right? I work with a wonderful Scrum Master or coach at Rally, and he's amazing, and he's submitted his talk a couple of times to Mile High Agile and has gotten rejected a couple of times, and you take it so personally. I mean, it's hard. And it's important to understand how to get through that. I agree. Yeah.
And learning how to let it go so you can try again.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe if I add with my little experience, so there is part of it is craft and part of it is marketing and sales. So
of course,
people do come, to these conferences, and there are sponsors. So there is always different plays at work. But yeah, I think what Jen said rightly, don't take it too hard. Like learn from that rejection, and maybe I do run a meetup group and I invite speakers, and what I've noticed that number of these speakers, they come with their talks and they have the same talks somewhere else as well. So they take the same talk. So I mean, they practice. Practice makes takes to perfection. So they practice the same talk again and again, and they improve upon that talk and refine it to a level maybe where they can go ahead and then take it to a conference.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
we are at time. Do we want to keep talking? Stop talking?
Let me look at the thumb.
If I could spin my thumb in a 360, I would.
We got some.
Jill, what are you thinking?
We have one more, right?
We have one more. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and do the one more.
Okay.
Let's hit it.
Lightning talks.
Oh, it's kind of related, so that's great.
Yeah, and I think Nancy, I put this up here because of something that you had brought up of like, maybe we have a main speaker, but we also leave space in our meetups for small lightning talks. I also, for me, one of my favorite sessions we did last year was the lightning talks, where we did them for the whole session. It was quite impressive, the range of topics people brought, and some of them were quite moving, actually.
Yeah, I agree. And thanks for putting that up here. So this is something that Marie, who was on the call earlier with us for Agile Denver North, this is something that she's actually started incorporating in every meetup. So she's got a sign-up sheet, and if you're interested in giving a lightning talk at the next, upcoming meetup, you put your name on the sign-up sheet, and then we give, the first 10 minutes or so of the presentation to that lightning talk. And it's sometimes we have people and sometimes we don't, and that's okay, and it's been working.
And lightning talk, just to get everybody on the same page, is like a really, really quick presentation. It could be like, we put a parameter on it. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 2 minutes, but it really gives people that opportunity to get up and speak that typically would not, because they don't want to get up and talk for 30 minutes or an hour or an hour and a half.
Right.
Jan, are you talking? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Sorry, I thought I saw your lips moving. So
I am not talking into the mute.
Okay, cool. We'll start the timer.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Is there a subject for lightning talks or just anything?
It's whatever you choose, which makes it kind of fun. We had at the last one we got, Katie, I don't know if you were at the one where the lady talked about how to pet a cat.
Yeah, there was the pet the cat. There was one on empathy. There was one on losing your job. How to deal with rejection would be a perfect lightning talk. How to deal with rejection from a conference or, a job interview.
Oh, I could talk about both of those at length. I don't know if I could do lightning.
Right?
Yes, I could do lightning. Yeah, no problem. So, yeah.
And it's really takes a lot of skill. I mean, to have your slides and to be able to come. It's typically the ones that I've seen are either 5 minutes or 7 minutes. And to be able to get your point out, be clear and concise and get your point across in that amount of time is challenging.
Is it technical or agile focused, or is it anything pet the cat?
Which actually, I personally feel like that opens the door. It's a little more safe, because psychologically safe, right? Because if you have something that you love, maybe you love, crocheting or something, or, you love baking or cooking or whatever, you can talk about that and it and you're passionate about it. And so it makes it a little bit easier to talk about it.
And I think it feeds a lot into professional development, because as a Scrum Master, you need to have a lot of skill sets in your toolbox. And so this is just another one, presenting or facilitating.
Yeah, it kind of blends into the storytelling.
Yeah.
Lightning
and we did have
storytelling.
Oh my gosh, the storytelling on the empathy, I don't remember who the lady was, but she totally made me cry last year.
I do remember that. It was really good.
She told this amazing story.
I was looking at the board here, and there's also one on Pechacucha.
I threw that up there because you mentioned it, and I was like, I had to Google what that was.
Yeah, and that's similar. We could
Yeah.
break those things together, but if you have time, look up Pechacucha. It's the same. It's a similar idea, and we could do a lightning talk. Somebody, could say, "Hey, I have a lightning talk I want to do tonight," or "I have a Pechacucha I want to do tonight," or another one that's come up recently is what's it called? Presentation roulette. I don't know if folks have heard about that one. That's another fun one. Presentation roulette or presentation karaoke, as it's.
Oh my God, presentation karaoke.
Do you sing your presentation?
No, what you do. I know that, but I like that too. So it knows what you do is you're given a topic, you're given a certain amount of time, and you're given slides, random slides, and you don't know what they are. They're just random photos or random charts and graphs or whatever, and they're not related at all. They're just randomized, and you have to tell a story using those slides.
No, I mean, it would be good if the experts, once they do like tell a story,
Yeah.
but it's just for fun, and it's kind of like a Toastmaster, they have this, they ask you a question and you respond, and it's just so much laughing because you don't know what's coming. And I have done that with my teams at, like on the side, not like remotely, but it's just hilarious that we laughed so hard that people from outside would come and they're like, what the hell are you guys doing? and because we had curtains, so people couldn't see what it is going on inside, they would just hear us just like laughing so hard. So that's a fantastic, presentation karaoke is so fun.
That's cool. That's great. Awesome. Okay, any more thoughts or comments on that one? We got 10 seconds. We're gonna wrap it up. Oh, it's 7:30, so we gotta wrap it up quick.
I think for this one also, you can have it like, whoever wants to participate as like in the beginning, and instead of having an icebreaker, you can have this one as, it's just kind of like an icebreaker also. And then whoever wants to participate, you can start it by yourself. So you can do a demo, like how it happens. And then people can feel safe that, oh, it's okay if I'm not good at it or whatever. And that can be part of icebreaker. That's a nice suggestion.
Absolutely. That's a great idea.
What should I capture as an action item there?
I would say, so for some of our meetup sessions, we should look at doing a lightning talk or a Pechacucha or whatever instead of an icebreaker.
Oh, okay, cool. I think I captured that with lightning talk slots for each meetup can include other types of presentation methods. Okay, cool.
Perfect. You got it.
All right.
All right.
So good to proceed.
I think we're done. We got a lot of good stuff. We can keep this board, right?
Yes, the link is always there.
Okay. Does anybody quickly have anything they want to add about any of the things we talked, or any questions? If not, we'll move on to action items, and let's throw a vote. It looks like we already have votes on them.
Some of us have jumped the gun, sorry.
That's quite all right. I like it.
Yeah.
You can vote at any time. You could even vote after you leave, although I recommend voting before you leave because you'll probably forget.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw some votes on what you think and Katie and I and maybe Marie Katie and I for sure will work on incorporating some of these things, or at least talking about some of these things, and see what we can line up for this year for our sessions.
How many votes are we allowed?
Oh,
I think you could vote as much as you want, and then I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody might take 50 votes. I don't
Oh
know.
no, I mean, okay, you can vote only once on each card, but vote for as many cards as you want. And then because
That's what I meant. It's been a long day. Sorry.
Yeah, so I voted for different cards once, but I was like, no, I'm a troublemaker again. So, but good that you said that. So,
Yep. Yeah. So you can vote on each card.
vote for as many cards as you like, but only once per card.
Right.
Yeah, and it subtract my -2 for my.
Subtract your -2.
I was trying to figure out how to do the vote. So.
Got it. Okay. That's awesome.
Oh, I see. Oops, -2 for my double clicks. Got it.
Yeah.
It doesn't like that sticky note. It's too big. Oh well.
Well, this is awesome. I don't want to keep you all too long.
I kind of like that we had a small group because it just flowed well and we had the right amount of topics and the right amount of discussion. And
I agree.
If we'd had a bigger group, we might still be here.
I know, right? Too many things that I'm so appreciative of the discussion and all the cards that were up. I would thought, well, maybe with a small number of people, we wouldn't get many ideas, but this is fantastic. So appreciate it so much. And Katie, thanks for driving the board. And yeah, her and I will get together and we'll talk about how we can do some of these things. So the recording of this will be out on the YouTube Agile Denver site, and this board, yeah, will stay live. I guess we can keep it and maintain it and use it from time to time.
Yep.
So, anything anybody wants to share?
Bye, Cynthia.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Cynthia. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Katie and Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy, and we'll see you next month.
Sure.
So yeah.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks very much for participating. Have a great evening. Stay safe, stay well, and
stay warm.
See you next time. Jan, I'm gonna just type my email in the chat right now.
Okay.
And shoot me an email if you would.
Okay. Yep, I will do that.
Fantastic.
Over there.
We'll get you set up.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
That'll be great.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Katie. I'm going to stop recording.